Hands up, everybody who loves the song You to Me Are Everything that was recorded by The Real Thing back in 1970s. Yes, okay, I've got my hand up. But not everyone will realise that the group are still going strong and playing to packed houses wherever they go.
Absolutely. We saw the band play at Colnes Municipal Hall back in April, and we went along and we asked Eddy Amoo if they were still enjoying life together after 35 years as a working band.
Oh, yeah, it's good, yeah. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better job, if you could call it that, really. My dad never called it that. My dad always said to me, "When you gonna get a real job, son?" A proper job. But yeah, we enjoy it. Yeah, we love it. You know.
Okay. So there's been a lot of changes over that time since you first started out in the music business. What's changed? What's got easier, and maybe what's got harder?
Well, changes. I don't really think it's got harder or easier. I just think it's the same. It's just that it's different. You know, it works different now, but the actual rules that you've got to sort of like get a hit record, and to get that hit record, you've got to have marketing, you've got to have a record company behind you. That's not changed. That's still basically the same. The only thing that's changed is that music's got a lot more diverse now. And in fact, what I've noticed, and we've talked about this with loads of artists over the years, when a record's in the charts, there's actually more people that don't like it than like it, because the actual music scene is so diverse now. So you can have, say, like a rap or hip hop record flying up the chart, but most people, or a lot of people, don't like rap or hip hop. Or you could have something rock going up the chart, and a lot of people don't like rock. Or same with middle of the road, MOR. The same with it's a lot more diverse now, I think, which is good. Which is good.
You're best known for the hits you had in the late 70s. Can't Get By Without You, To Me Or Everything. Although your act is a lot more diverse than that as well, isn't it?
Oh, totally, yeah. Before we had the hits, we were really more known for a lot of the street songs we used to write, like Children of the Ghetto, Stand Up Street. Can You Feel the Force falls into that category. It's just that it was a more commercial sort of like version. We used to write a lot of message songs, you know, and most of the songs were based on Liverpool 8, where we grew up. And I think one of our best albums was actually called 4 from 8, and on that was the trilogy out of which we took Children of the Ghetto, which has done very well for us and actually gave us the credibility that we didn't get for our more commercial side, if you like, because so many artists like Mary J. Blige, Philip Bailey, Courtney Pine have done their own versions of it, you know. So it's a funny old way the business works.
So how did you move into the more commercial side? Was that a choice of yours, or were you guided by somebody else?
Oh, we were guided, you know. We had a very good mentor, Tony Hall, who was our manager, and he knew in them days it was practically unknown for a black group to be taken seriously. Black groups were looked upon basically as novelty bands by the media and stuff. They were never taken seriously. It was usually like one hit, then they vanished. Do you understand what I'm saying? We were most probably the first group to be taken seriously, and he knew what we had to do to sort of like get ourselves to that level. And he said the first rule of thumb is we've got to get you a hit. All these great songs that you're writing aren't going to mean anything. We've got to get you a hit. And basically we stumbled across a guy called Ken Gold, who'd written a song called You To Me Are Everything, which had basically been turned down by everybody else. And Chris just happened to be in the office when he brought it in. And Chris and Tony immediately thought that the song had possibilities. Although we didn't expect the success that it brought us. We just thought, this will keep the record company off our backs for a few months, you know. Record company gave us a small budget to go in and record it, and the rest is history.
And let's go back a bit. I mean, back in the 60s, you were already singing with the Chants.
I was, yeah.
You was, yeah.
I was with a group called the Chants. That was my first group. And sort of like, we were basically launched by the Beatles, in actual fact. We auditioned for them at the Cavern. I think it was 1962, and they liked us so much that they invited us to play with them that night. We raced 4 songs with them, because the Chants were an a cappella group. And they were knocked out with this, you know. We got us up on stage, and we a cappellaed 4 songs for them. And like I say, they were so knocked out that they made us come down to the Cavern that night, and brought us on stage and introduced us to the public, you know. That was basically my start in the business, really. I was never ever going to do anything else after that night. You know what I mean? It was so magic.
So that was it. You just wanted to be a singer,
yeah,
and that was
that's it. there's no turning back, you know.
Is it true that the Beatles insisted on backing you when their manager didn't want them to?
Well, when Epstein showed up at the Cavern just before we were due on, he didn't like the idea of his boys backing anybody. But basically, the group overruled him. And when Epstein himself actually seen us, he was made up with it as well. And he said, "Oh, we've got to do this again." And that went on for about 6 months. You know, we played with the Beatles for about 6 months until somebody else came along and signed us, and then we got signed. We got our own record deal, you know.
So, what sort of audiences do you get now? Are you constantly getting new younger people, or is it the same people from 30 or 40 years ago who've just got older? Or
no, we get a lot of younger people. We get a lot of, and basically because we actually had our biggest year in 1986. 86 was our biggest year because they re-released all the tracks and the album as well, and they all went top. You know, top 5. They all went up there. So that was a big. In fact, we were the 3rd biggest selling group in the country in '86. But that gave us another generation, if you like. That gave us another audience. So in actual fact, we've got 2 audiences, and then we've got you tend to pick up fans along the way. You know, people could drop in to see you. A lot of times out of curiosity, but they really get into the show and they start coming to see. You know, so we get quite a broad mix in our audience. You know.
And you're very, very busy now. You've still got lots of dates. You're touring all the time.
Massively. That's why we can afford to take the 2 months off. We need it because we're basically by the end of December, man, we're shattered. We need to step off. You know, our touring file is big. You know, it always has been.
And you have different versions of the show, don't you? You have the one with the playback and one
with the playback, one with the live. But we find that we're doing a lot more work with the live band now than we do playback, which is fantastic. That's what we enjoy. Obviously, you're not locked in. But our show became really successful because we recognized very, very early that like a tape show could be made to be very, very live and creative if you worked at it. You know what I mean? So basically, we refused to work and sing all the old masters or something like that. We went in and recorded the songs, you know, the tracks, especially for live performances, so that when you see us, if you wasn't there, you think we were working with a live band. You know what I'm saying? That's the way we do it. You know, it's been really successful, and this, of course, creates demand. A lot of people then want to say, "Oh, I want to see them work with a band," so that creates demand. You know, now we've been carrying this band that we're with now for nearly 7 years, same band, you know. So it's really good, you know.
And you're not thinking of giving up?
I think in this business, you don't give up; the audience give you up. To be honest, and that's when you know got to stop.
So you're still enjoying it. I don't see why you should.
Yeah, you give up as the work dries up. That's it. You know?
So we're not losing you for now. You're nice and busy, and you're
extremely.
Are you writing a lot of new material?
Oh, that's what we do. Really? That's it. You know, I mean, these are with us all the time, and that's what we do. You know, you know what I mean. I don't think I could stay in the business as just to go on stage and just sing out songs and stuff like that. There's got to be that creative side to it, right? And that comes out, and you write, because when you write, every so often we can put new songs into the show, right? And we'll get away with it because the people will sit and listen. You know what I mean? So you've got that. We've got an outlet for our new ideas. You know what I mean?
Easy listening on wireless radio. Easy listening on wireless radio.